Good morning, everyone. Bon matin. As you all know, my name is Anthony Housefather. I'm your Member of Parliament. And it's a great pleasure to be joined up here by our Member of the National Assembly for D'Arcy-McGee David Birnbaum, the Mayor of Côte Saint-Luc, Mitchell Brownstein, Annette Oliel, qui est la présidente de la Centre Cummings pour les aînés, Pauline Grunberg, who's the Executive Director of the Cummings Center, and the Program Manager of the Drop-In Center for Older Adults here at the ACC, Erica Botner. Today is a day of celebration, and it's a day of celebration because this project involved the coming together of all of our community. There are so many people in this room that are responsible for the creation of the Drop-In Center for Older Adults, and it falls into the theme of one person can make a difference. When I was mayor of Côte Saint-Luc in 2015, the CIA Centre West decided to close the Drop-In Center at the CLSC René Cassin. I was approached by a number of people in this room who said their partners were attending the Drop-In Center at the CLSC, and they as caregivers did not know what they would do if that Drop-In Center closed. Even though that was not within the jurisdiction of the city of Côte Saint-Luc, we were always there to serve our residents, and we reached out to our colleague at the provincial level, David Birnbaum, to the Cummings Center, who was an incredible partner, and to other groups within the community to see if we would be able to find a way, if Côte Saint-Luc gave the space, for a drop-in center to be established on Côte Saint-Luc premises. And everyone came together and said, yes, we can make that happen, we just need the money. When I was elected a Member of Parliament in 2015, one of my first priorities was to find a way to get money for the drop-in center. And we worked together with the Cummings Center, with David and Elizabeth from his office, with Sunny from my office, with Mitch and the council in Côte Saint-Luc, to find a way to apply for a grant that would fund the drop-in center. And we received $390,000 from Minister Duclos under the New Horizons program to create a drop-in center. And that funding lasted for 3 years. And during that 3 years, I constantly got feedback from the participants in the drop-in program about the incredible stimulating activities that were going on, from the caregivers about how important this was to the quality of their daily life, to get some respite, to be able to see their partner engaged and active, but also to be able to go shopping, and to be able to get psychological support and pointers on how to deal with their own health as a caregiver. During that same period, my own dad got diagnosed with dementia after having fallen twice. And I've watched my mom go through the process of having to deal with a partner that has dementia, who's able to define complex words and still do math equations in his head, but doesn't remember whether he's gone to the bathroom. And the pain and suffering and the joy and exhilaration and the day-to-day trauma that a caregiver has to go through is beyond words. So it was pivotal to me and to all of the people up here that we find additional funding to keep this drop-in center open. And I'm so pleased today that after having worked on this project for the last year and a half, that we have received $922,000 from the federal government, from the Minister of Health, under the Dementia Community Investment strategy that creates programs that help people live in their communities with dementia and help support their caregivers. And that will keep the program open for at least 4 years. Donc je suis très content de faire cette annonce parce que je comprends l'importance à tout le monde dans cette salle que ce programme continue. Et je félicite encore toutes les personnes qui sont impliquées, particulièrement les personnes qui travaillent ici quotidiennement, le Centre Cummings, qui sans le Centre Cummings, ce programme serait complètement impossible de faire ici à Côte-Saint-Luc, et la ville de Côte-Saint-Luc, parce que c'est l'importance que la ville de Côte-Saint-Luc donne cet espace, c'est primordial aussi. Donc, merci beaucoup. Thank you very much, everyone. And I'm just so happy to share good news with you guys.
Bonjour tout le monde. Welcome, everybody. Monsieur le député de Montréal, monsieur le maire, madame la présidente du Centre Cummings, madame la directrice générale, madame la responsable de ce beau projet. What a pleasure to be with you here today. As Anthony noted, I think you have, sometimes people talk about perfect storms and they mean them in a negative way. I think here you have a perfect conjoncture of 3 levels of government, of a deeply devoted community, of a social service network that's the envy of the province, if not the country, of a committed, like I say, community coming together for an innovative and essential project. Coalitions often happen with an important catalyst. They require all of the partners, but they sometimes require an extra special effort. And I don't think anybody would disagree when I note that that special effort came from your federal MP, Anthony Housefather. And like Anthony, I've been involved in government announcements. They happen each day, and they really are important, and in each case, they're about people. But this one even maybe more so, and I think that's why it's so evocative to hear a personal story that reminds us of the incredible significance of what we've done together. You all know that one of the things that's maybe typical of Quebec that happens everywhere else is that we wake up in the morning and talk about the weather. The other thing we wake up in the morning and talk about in Quebec is healthcare. And we all have our disagreements about it. But I don't think anybody would disagree about what remains the fundamental cog in that collective and individual effort. And it's you, it's families, it's people. Every other piece of the puzzle is not always there, but even when it is, if the missing piece is love and devotion of family, the rest will not be enough. So this important grant and the 4 years that it guarantees moving forward is so essential, but it doesn't happen and it isn't meaningful without family caregivers remembering better times and looking to make the best times they can in difficult circumstances, being there. And if they're ready to be there, having the resources and the expertise they need to do so. And that's where you have this tremendous coalition coming into play. A community, a municipality of Côte Saint-Luc with leadership that's a model for so many other communities. People who are there to play their role. And a center like the Cummings Center ready to provide the expertise and leadership. And the last thing I'll mention is that expertise and leadership, and it will honor each of you and the people you're caring for, is going to have ripples beyond that care happening each day, because things are happening, research is being done, complementary to the services you are each part of each day, and those will matter for future caregivers and for those of us who are heading towards a period where we may be deeply vulnerable as well. So I'm so proud to be part of this announcement. Je peux modestement vous assurer qu'en tant que votre député provincial, je vais m'assurer que le gouvernement actuel continue à comprendre exactement la signification de tout ce que vous faites, et là où il y a une implication d'imposer, je vais faire ma part pour assurer que ce gouvernement est au rendez-vous aussi. Alors, chapeau mazel tov to all of us and many more years of strength and continuity for this organization. Thank you.
Thank you, David. Thank you so much. You know, my heart is so full. Not only do we have these 6 people sitting up here who mean so much for this program, but I look at all of you, participants in our program, caregivers, and so many of you who participate in many of our seniors' programming. And also we have our former member of the National Assembly, Lawrence Bergman, who always was a great supporter of this community. Thank you for being with us. It just shows how important this announcement is. Our former city councilor, Alan Levine, who was a big supporter of all our seniors programs. Thank you for being here. Councilor David Torchman and Councilor Mitch Kajavsky. And I want to thank you, Mitch, for really spearheading the Côte Saint-Luc Dramatic Society, which has its own Senior Summer Works project, which allows seniors to do what they love so much in their later years of life. So thank you, Mitch, for that. A community is a place. It's a place that takes care of everyone, from our tiniest little tots, like we do here in this building, to our most vulnerable elderly. And when we built this Aquatic and Community Center while Anthony was mayor, it was a dream of ours and it happened. We always imagined these type of programs, but we thought they were a dream. We never really believed they would come to this extent. I mean, we brought new programs in for kids, like the rec room. And we have so many activities going on for little ones every day, and for seniors, like our men's club. And I see Manny here, our president. And what these programs do is take care of an entire community. And a community is not just Côte Saint-Luc, it's the neighbors that live close by as well. And in our programs, and that's really what's so wonderful about having the drop-in center right here in the Aquatic and Community Center, there's an interaction between the youth and the seniors every day when they walk through the halls. Every week, our camp programs interact with the participants of the drop-in center, and they get the little teeny ones to enjoy with the elderly who participate in the program. And that is beautiful, and that's what a community is about. We're always trying to respond to what people want. They want wiffle ball, we build a wiffle ball court. They want pickleball, we build a pickleball court. Whatever people want in our community, that's what we try to give. So I am really so thankful to Anthony Housefather and the Government of Canada for getting us this money. Thank you once again, Anthony. We're going to use it well. We're going to use it well because we have a dedicated staff, and they're all here too, from our city manager, Tanya Abramovich, co-city manager, Jonathan Schechter, associate city manager, Nadia DeFuria, the entire library team, Parks and Recreation director. They're here because they know how important this program is, and we're going to work with you guys to make sure that it's even a bigger success than it's been. So thank you so much, and thank you, Anthony.
Thank you so much, Mitch and Manny. Our new women's club president is here too. She introduced herself to me when she was walking in. Here she is. Congratulations. This program could not have been possible without the incredible work of the Cummings Center. And I'd first like to introduce an incredible partner in this process, Pauline Grunberg, who's the executive director of the Cummings Center.
So thank you everyone for being here. We are so excited to be part of this exciting initiative and this collaboration that crosses governmental lines, city lines, really to create programs for the benefit of you and listening to you and what we wanted to do. It's an amazing feat for us to stand here today and know that we have received this amazing grant of over $922,000 from the government to be able to support us for the next 4 years. So together we see that we can really move mountains, and in not working in silos, we were able to build something of beauty and of meaningfulness, and listening to what each of you would like to see in the program is how the program has evolved. I do want to take a couple of minutes just to thank Erica Botner and the entire team at the Drop-In Center. And Erica will go into a little bit more thank yous of that. I also want to thank Annette Oliel, the president of Cummings, and our board of directors for seeing the vision, allowing us to go forward and really looking at evolving services for caregivers and for people living with memory loss and other cognitive disabilities. I think that the vision for Cummings is to be part of a community, and Côte Saint-Luc is a wonderful community for us to share partnerships with, and all of the partners that work here at Côte Saint-Luc to help us evolve the programming in a meaningful way so that it can also be generalized for you to use at other times, not just when you're in the program. So creating an inclusive space altogether is part of our vision, and it's part of what we're committed to do, and we thank all of you for being a part of this wonderful, wonderful announcement. Thank you.
Je pense qu'on m'a assez présenté. So, you know now that my name is Annette Oliel and I'm president of Le Centre Cummings. And instead of saying senior, for seniors, we're going to say for super agers. Dans notre mission, il est clairement cité que, ancré dans son héritage juif, le Cummings ouvre ses portes aux personnes de tous les horizons ethniques et socio-économiques. Pour les personnes atteintes de démence, notre approche est centrée sur la personne afin qu'elle soit suivie comme un individu qui a une histoire unique avec des moyens qui reflètent leur pays d'origine, la religion, l'ethnicité. Comme vous le savez, la programmation se fait dans les 2 langues officielles, but from time to time, you know, we speak Russian, we speak Spanish, so it's not just the 2 languages, it's many languages that we are offering to our beneficiaries. Alors, la programmation se fait dans les 2 langues, bien sûr, comme j'ai dit, et elle inclut des thérapies d'art créatif, comme la musique, le théâtre, la peinture, des exercices doux et de relaxation, comme le yoga, le tai chi, des étirements bien sûr, la zoothérapie, la stimulation cognitive, des activités de santé cérébrale, des activités sociales telles que les fêtes, les célébrations d'anniversaire, et tout cela dans un environnement sain et sécure. My thanks to the federal government, and especially to you, Anthony, because really it's such a great grant. This grant will give us, you know, the opportunity to continue our program, to enhance it, to augment it, and to develop au fur et à mesure. Thank you so much.
One of our beloved caregivers said to me one day that being a caregiver is like going on the biggest, scariest, highest roller coaster every single day. And while I like roller coasters, being in that situation every day without having time to go shopping, without having time to see your friends, without having time to do other activities other than roller coasters, it's hard. It's not easy. So I'm happy to say that with over 50 years of experience, the Cummings Center is well positioned to be managing this grant and to meet the objectives of the funding, which will hopefully allow us to help our caregivers to get off that roller coaster for a few minutes or longer. So I'm going to talk a little bit about the objectives of the funding. The first one is to optimize the well-being of people living with dementia and their caregivers. So hopefully we'll be able to slow down that roller coaster and allow you to get off a little bit. We're going to be able to continue the drop-in program and also to expand our services for caregivers and explore what a dementia-friendly community is really about with our partners. On top of that, we'll be able to promote the awareness of dementia and its modifiable risk factors and tackle stigma using education, intergenerational activities, trainings for community partners, and conferences and presentations. And lastly, we'll be undertaking intervention research and evaluation to assess the effectiveness of the program and to apply this knowledge so that we can continue to grow and develop and expand. So I'm going to thank some of our partners. The government partners have been thanked, but I want to thank the people who are on the ground who are helping us on a day-to-day basis. So from the City of Côte Saint-Luc, the staff at the Côte Saint-Luc Aquatic Center, Cornelia, Laura, Ray, Steve, Dennis, Ryan, all of you, you go above and beyond every day to make us feel welcome in this space and to really make sure that we have what we need in order to operate the program. So thank you so much for everything. The Integrated Health and Social Services University Network for West Central Montreal, the CUS, we're going to be continuing to work with them in terms of them having an advisory role, providing consultation and referrals to and from the program. Engage, Concordia Center for Research on Aging, and CREJ, the Center for Research and Expertise on Social Gerontology. We will be working with some of their top researchers, including Dr. Shannon Hubblethwaite, Dr. Laurel, and Dr. Darla Fortune. Dr. Laurel Young. And we'll be working with them to develop research projects and to together build a living lab where practitioners, researchers, people living with dementia, caregivers, and students and volunteers can all come together and learn together. Finally, I want to mention Vanessa from Van Estas. So she's going to be leading our performance measurement and evaluation strategy to make sure that we're accountable for what we're doing and to make sure we understand the magic of what happens in the drop-in program so that we can share that with other people who want to create similar programs and so that we can keep doing what we're doing. We'll also be working with local universities and CEGEPs. We continue to get students to come and observe and participate and help to run our programs. And lastly, I know Pauline started to mention the staff and the volunteers, but really this program is not possible with the people who are on the floor running the activities every day. So Michelle, Ainsley, Laura, Kemi, and Megan right now. Your dedication, your skill, your professionalism, your creativity, you create magic every day at the program. It's really beautiful to see. And I think what's most important is how much you care about the program and about the participants, our guests, and the caregivers. So thank you. And lastly, to the guests that come to the program and the caregivers, we're inspired by you every day, by your unique stories, by your resilience, by your sense of humor. And having been part of the program on the ground since the beginning, I really get to see the impact that the program has on everybody. The friendships being made, the communities being built, the partnerships being formed, caregivers having a little bit of time to do some of the things that are important to you, maintaining skills for as long as possible, overall well-being, in some cases even delaying placement or reducing the strain on the healthcare system. And I think I can't express how thrilled we are that we get to continue on this journey all together. So thank you.
Yeah. Thank you. I'm just going to thank you.
Do it. Thank you.
So
yeah.
I just want to end this, and Erica has one more little piece of an announcement at the end. Erica Botner is truly inspirational in all that she does.
Yeah.
Over the last couple of years, as we've struggled to look for all the different sources of funding that would potentially continue this program, I watched her work with us and draft sentence after sentence and application after application. There was an incredible effort by not only Erica and Pauline, but an entire group of people at the Cummings Center, and by the City of Côte Saint-Luc, Tanya Abramovich, Janine West, Cornelia Ziga, and Mitch Brownstein and their whole team, in terms of helping us try to craft grant applications for any possible way we would be able to get money to continue the program. Fortunately, the National Dementia Strategy that we announced allowed us to create a program under the Ministry of Health that actually worked perfectly, but we were looking everywhere. And Erica's ability to write, her ability to creatively think are just fantastic. And I think she's just to be commended because this program is more than anybody ever dreamed. And so Erica's going to now make an announcement, but just to let everybody know, we're going to be around if anybody has any questions for us afterwards, and I'm going to give Erica back the mic.
Okay. I have one more thing to say or to show you. Mitch reminded me. If you look in the corner of the room over here, you'll see a beautiful mural. It was a collaborative effort between the drop-in program guests and the kids in the Côte Saint-Luc summer camp. So every week this summer, the guests and the kids in the camp got together and painted one little square of that mural, and we put it all together. And I think it's a beautiful representation of what we've created together and what we'll continue to create together. So I would like to invite guests from the drop-in program, as well as their caregivers and anybody that we personally invited to come to the event, to stick around while everybody else leaves, and we'll be heading over to continue the celebrations in the salon right next door.